What's up, everybody? It's Ivan with Trouts Fly Fishing, back with the forecast for December 16th. Dare I say it, it's winter. It's snowing outside. It snowed yesterday. It might snow again in the next couple weeks. It's winter, so that means low flows, lighter tippet, fish that are going to be a little bit more active in the middle of the day as opposed to the beginning of the day, and hopefully a little bit of space on the river. So there we go. We're going to talk about bugs, flows, and weather. Let's start with bugs. Bugs. To start, we're going to go jigged Rainbow Warrior in a 16. Jigged Rainbow Warrior, a good point fly when you don't want to use eggs or worms or a stonefly or something like that. I like that on tailwaters and freestones, but I love it on freestones. The Rainbow Warrior is a great fly, super flashy, gets the fish's attention, and that jigged version gets down really quickly. So you're gonna get your flies in the pocket real quick, get a good presentation. Presentation, more than bug choice in my opinion, during this time of year is key. So getting a good drift, getting your flies in the right zone. Fish don't want to move a ton. They're not going to expand a bunch of energy. What was that word, expand? That's not the word. They're not going to use a bunch of energy. That's why I like the jigged Rainbow Warrior. Number two that I'm going to pick, I'm not ashamed, an orange egg. Brown trout spawn sort of wrapping up, and there are going to be a ton of orange eggs in the system. This is a brighter version. You can also start to use some paler versions as we get further and further away from the spawn. Eggs aren't going to be as fresh. The egg is a good lead fly. Egg always produces, I heard somewhere it's always spawning season somewhere in Colorado, and that certainly applies. There's always going to be eggs in the system, and fish want protein this time of year. They need energy. Eggs have a lot of protein. You eat them for breakfast, why shouldn't they, So number three is a Jujube Midge Flash in blue. I think we talked about this before. Blue is super visible at depth. Something about the UV light at depth. Blue's really visible. You can look it up, Google it. But the Jujube Midge Flash has some flash, has that blue color, super visible. Good slim profile, so if you have a heavier fly, that fly is going to sink really well as well. It's not going to sort of parachute your rig and keep it elevated. So really like that fly. I also grabbed a Manhattan Midge in red, size 22. That's a Forrest Dorsey pattern. Forrest Dorsey learned from his dad, Pat Dorsey. Both of them happen to be good at fishing, especially on tailwaters. That's why I would always have a Dorsey fly on the South Platte. And then finally, this is a Demon Midge, just a Matt McCannell pattern. It's in red, uses a red hook, has a red body. It's actually has a little bit of UV quality to it. It's a longer shank hook, but still produces. Fish generally tend to like red, but they love the Demon Midge. That's why I picked it in my top 5 flies for this upcoming 2 weeks. So there we go. That's the bugs. Let's get to the flows. We've seen a small bump in flows above or below Cheeseman and through Deckers. Below Spinney through the Dream Stream, we've seen a bit of a drop. And then 11 Mile, you also saw a drop. So everything's sort of in that low flow stage on the South Platte, and then obviously on the freestones, you're seeing similar sort of patterns. With lower flows, generally lighter tippets. So if you were using 4 and 5, I would use 5 and 6. Obviously with the attractor patterns, you can size that tippet up a little bit, but fish are going to be a little bit more spooky, a little bit more tippet shy, and a little bit more weight shy, so split shot shy. So try to keep your rigs a little bit more on the finesse side. Don't just plop a bunch of weight on there. Fish will tune into that pretty soon, so they'll be boogieing when they hear that plop. So you want to keep it a little bit more on the safe side. So flows are sort of what we expect them to be, and what we expect them to be throughout the winter. Don't expect a ton of change unless the powers that be start moving water around the basins. But yeah, nothing crazy with the flows. It's winter, so they're going to be low. Then let's get to weather. Let's talk weather. Weather. It's winter. it's going to be a little bit warmer on the Front Range and a little bit colder up in the mountains. If you're going to the freestones, obviously some of those overnight lows are getting into the single digits, so be cognizant of that. Obviously, with groundwater playing a role in rivers and sort of inserting some warmer water, the riparian areas will be a little bit warmer, but I would sort of lean towards getting out a little bit later, let that anchor ice sort of free up. But you can still get some productive days on those freestones. There is some snow in the forecast, but as a general rule, it looks like it's going to be pretty sunny, pretty stable weather over the next couple weeks. So stability is obviously a good thing, especially in the wintertime. You sort of come to expect certain things, not getting a lot of variation, and fish can sort of settle into a good pattern. So good outlook, although it will be cold, a good outlook for the next couple weeks. Wrap it up. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop us a line, live chat, shoot us an email, slide in the DMs. We're here to help, whether you want to get new Christmas gifts for yourself or somebody else, I guess, or you want to talk about fishing, your next fishing outing. So we're here to help. Hope you guys have a good holidays. We'll see you later. Okay, bye.